Fuck it. Welcome back. Another episode, 6-Man Tag Podcast. Audio, cool. Apple, Spotify, thanks. YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Looking at all of our faces. We're continuing what we did last week. We're talking about gimmick matches. But gimmicks. I think we're focusing on bad ones this week because there's a lot of them. And
not necessarily, but okay.
I think we focused on a lot of bad ones last week.
But there's going to be a lot of bad ones. Yes.
Spoiler. A lot of bad ones, but it'll be fun. I'm Mike. Joining me, as always, it's CJ.
What's up, everybody? It is CJ Doyen, aka Craig Francis, coming at you live here. I'm dropping stuff on my desk. That's why I'm looking away. Sorry.
You sounded like you weren't sure what your name was for a second.
No, I just started, like, things were falling off my desk, so I was having a moment of panic. But anyway, that's not important. What is important is that I no longer look like a caveman, or at least less of a caveman than I was. It was getting a little out of control. I don't know.
I do now.
It was hard to notice with the headphones on, boys, but like it was starting to grow into my ears. It was becoming a problem. It was, it's not good. So, but moving on to our own very own little emo kid, as we see, Squeak, little bitch Scolari this week.
Now you listen here, sunshine. I didn't have an intro prepared for this. Okay, bloody well, I got this started. So there's only going to be one match that we can use to settle this.
I have
Duchess of Queensberry.
There it is. What? Was that a match?
We'll get to that.
It's almost like that's a good segue into it.
It's called a teaser. You got to keep listening.
Yes, I like it.
And what's this? There's a fourth box on the Zoom. That's right. Welcome back. It's the four-time guest. Welcome back from Northeast Wrestling, the senior official at Northeast Wrestling,
and the senior 6-Man Tag Podcast guest.
Huge pop.
Welcome back, Chris DeAntonio.
Thank you for having me back for a fourth time. As if the other three times were reason enough for you to never have me back. You're recruiting me again for a fourth time.
Listen, anytime. And this is a perfect one for your insight. I want to ask you right off the top before we get into really what we're doing with this episode. Have you, I'm assuming you've reffed some form of gimmick match at some point, whether it just be your classic street fight or no DQ match, just something ridiculous.
Yeah.
What goes into reffing stuff like that? Is it kind of like you just get to throw everything out and sort of just sit back and watch and wait to count to three? Is there more shit that goes into it? I guess from your perspective, what do you got?
Definitely, it's a lot easier. There's really, you don't have any rules to enforce so much, but you got to be there for everything. Sometimes these things carry on all over the place, so you got to keep up with it. At that point, when you're keeping up with it, though, now you're not looking so much just for rules, but I'm trying to maybe keep the paying fans from getting hurt, because everybody likes to, jump in there, and you got to keep everybody back. It's not like a WWE show where there's loads of security there. So it's on you a little bit more to do that. So I just look out more for the safety of people when it gets out of hand like that. But no, they're fun. They're fun. It's like a little bit of a breather, and actually enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is, or what it shouldn't be.
As much as you can anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It has its ups, and I guess sometimes it's downs, but gimmick matches they're fun to be in the ring for. I like them.
I guess I wanted one more because we were talking about how shitty World War III as a match was in WCW. And then Craig kind of got into how wrestling a battle royal can be weird as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just assuming you've reffed a battle royal before. Is that just a big clusterfuck? You're kind of just standing there waiting for guys to come out, or do you kind of have a semblance of?
Yeah.
Or do you have like timing down, or is it kind of just, all right, this is who's going to be at the end, and it is what it is?
So it depends. There's usually two ways. There's like a regular, like a Royal Rumble or something. The referees are very hands off with that. is just stay out of the ring. Well, stay on the outside. Anybody's feet touch, obviously. Goodbye.
Right.
Yeah, those are very easy for a referee to do, other than just watch, unless you decide to get involved in MLW's Battle Riot. That's a little different because you're in the ring and there's pins, there's submissions, and there's eliminations. So now you're in the middle of however many people decide to crowd a ring. So then it gets a little.
But got Skylar taking notes down here. He's just like, I'm gonna look that up later.
No, that just reminded me of something. But continue.
Yeah, so it just depends. If it's a regular, like a Royal Rumble or a Battle Royal, those are a little bit easier as an official, just being on the outside. But yeah, for something like a Battle Riot, that is the most chaotic match you could be in, easily, hands down.
Understandably so. Yeah. A lot to go on there.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm glad I asked that off the top because I somehow would have forgotten if we were getting into everything Skylar has for us to really just react to. That's really the game plan with this. Is anything we kind of throw out there, but Skylar made us a little bit of a list that we can just react to, which is probably going to be a lot.
Before he gets to it, I just have one quick question for Chris too, because I this might even be something Skylar was planning on asking him. I don't know myself, but Chris, as Mike mentioned, you've reffed a lot of matches. What is the wackiest gimmick match that you've had to ref? Like something like you see those Lego matches or Lego hardcore death matches, they call them, or whatever, stuff like that. Like, what's the wackiest thing that you've had to ref?
What?
You've never heard of Lego death matches?
Yeah, they're a thing. I've never done.
Oh my god.
Skylar's never heard of Lego death matches.
No. Oh no.
I'll just say the one I know of off the top of my head, AEW did when they were doing that whole like Peter Avalon, Brandon Cutler feud about who's going to get their first win like a couple of years ago. They had a hardcore match, and one of them took a bump on like the Dungeons and Dragons dice.
Oh,
which like that, that just looked like, I watched the match. It was entertaining, but it looked horrible.
There's like multiple dies, all different shapes. They all have different edges on them. That's not fun.
No. So it's like
that's like basically falling onto a pile of rocks of like different sharpness and roundness.
Right. So like, yes. So to answer your kind of side comment, Skylar, yes, there's just wacky shit out there.
So yeah, Chris, what's the wackiest thing that you've seen or had to gimmick or had the ref at a gimmick matches? If you have any, maybe not, but
there's not too much. And we've done a couple of we've done a few like those stadium shows outdoors, and remember we had a rain delay and we just had a match start out from the concourse area while all the fans are just waiting around for the show to start again. And we had 4 guys blew through the doors, and I went out and followed them, and they had an entire match around the whole stadium, and it was raining out. And we were flying off the dugout. They pulled all these things out, jumping. It was crazy. And the whole match was in the rain. And then like you had Enzo and Cass were on the microphone, like screaming and yelling.
While it was all going on.
Yeah, and they didn't have the camera equipment. They didn't have the camera equipment set up for it, except for like somebody had Enzo's cell phone, and there's a video somewhere of it out there on his phone.
Wow.
So they were just like, oh, it's a rain delay. How do we entertain these people? And they just kind of
and it was a full match, and I had to run. I remember running all over the like back and forth because it was basically a tag match. But I don't even know if we ever went in the ring. But I was trying to stick with all 4 guys as best I could. It was like I slid into home plate. I had shit all over me. It was fun.
Sounds pretty fun.
Man, they just blew through the doors and I'm like, go, go, go. Like this is real. Go, go.
No, but go. That's great. Is this real? No, but go anyway.
I was like, who is it? Yeah, there we go. That was cool. That was fun.
Very cool.
So my question before we started was, what are some gimmick matches that you like? Straight up,
like your favorite ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
There you go. All right.
Oh, that I like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we kind of went over our favorites last week, so it's fair to get yours here.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I have no idea why. It's like the simplest of ideas, and I don't know why I even enjoyed it. I liked the whole pay-per-view that WCW used to do, the Battle Bowl.
Oh,
Like the stupid like
that.
the tag matches, and then the winners would go into like a battle royal, and then I think the winner got like a title match, but it started as teams, and then of course
whittled down.
yeah, you'd have guys that get paired up that were like not friends at all. And
Yeah. That was
I
a
don't
cool
know
concept.
why
I do remember that.
they did it twice. They did 2 pay-per-views, and I don't know why I liked it because I think it was stupid actually rewatching it, but I don't know why.
Would it hold up well?
They
you
would
think,
do
at all,
stupider things.
They could, like you had your obvious like, oh, they put 2, it was all random draw, but of course you got 2 guys that got paired up that, didn't fucking like each other, or you had like, they had tag partners that were opposite teams.
Okay.
The draw. It was it was cool.
It feels like them trying to not compete with Survivor Series, but like, all right, let's throw some team shit out there, but expand upon it. And then...
Yeah, I think it was done. I want
to make it into like a whole tournament style kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
and that's what it was. It was like,
it almost feels like OTW got their idea in a way. From this of the battle royal getting you a title shot, sort of, not without the teams.
It's funny because OTW, we the name of the show was Battle Bowl, so I'm sure Jim Nolano definitely ripped that off of WCW. But other than that, it really didn't share that much. Our stipulation was we had a tag battle royal, a mid card battle royal, and a heavyweight or world champ, whatever you want to call it, battle royal. So it was just 3 battle royals straight up. There was no like actual like kind of tournament aspect of it. It was just like, okay, if your team wins a battle royal, or if you're part of a team and you win the battle royal, your team gets a tag team title shot. The next one was for the mid-card title, which we called the classic championship. And then the last one was for the heavyweight championship or the OTW championship. And it was basically just straight up 3 battle royals, 3 title matches. That was it. And then we usually had like the 2 girls of the class have like a women's match in between, because they were literally the only 2 girls in our class, and they would just wrestle each other every week.
Okay, so I'm looking at the card from the 1993 Battle Bowl.
Yeah,
so
I'm just there somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read the first match, and you have to name one of the participants that I'm saying here. So match 1 of the night, Vader and Cactus Jack defeated Charlie Norris and Kane. Who is Kane?
It's not Glenn Jacobs, I'm assuming.
It was no.
If you know, because I didn't. So if you know, throw it out there. I'll give you a couple seconds to guess.
Oh boy, you looked it up already. All right.
Yes.
Would it be like a WCW name that we would mostly all know? Okay. So I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say maybe that was a gimmick before Hugh Morris was Hugh Morris. I don't know.
Wrong.
I know, I was way off. I was just taking a shot in the dark, like I said. Skylar, come on, you know it. Come on. You gotta know it. You know everything.
You don't know it.
Wait.
Take a stab at least. Take a stab.
Stevie Ray.
Yes.
Wow.
Show us your screen. How did you fucking pull that out of your ass?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he went by that name.
No.
They did go.
Listen, if you didn't
Tyler,
look that
I want
up,
your
well
word.
done.
You didn't cheat.
I didn't, but
I believe you because I know you're an honest man.
And
but I wanted you to give the audience your word.
No.
That's incredible.
I'm trying to. Oh, you disabled screen sharing.
Yeah, probably for everyone else.
I see how it is. Yeah. No, I do.
Skylar pulls up his screen. He's just like, see, it's just Pornhub. Nothing but Pornhub.
Dude, that's the incognito window. Come on. Anyway, moving on.
I would say make that an ad, but they definitely have a lot of money.
Although now
Pornhub, yes.
No, now I want to look at Battle Bowl for a second.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else.
I think it was like I want to say
I gotta look at Pornhub.
It was 92, 93 or 93, 94.
That sounds about the time.
There's definitely
I have no idea, but
yeah.
I was in
Steve Austin and Ric Flair teamed up at during this.
Oh wow, really?
All right, I'll quickly
Stunning Steve?
Yeah.
I believe Sting won the first Battle Bowl. It was Sting or Vader. No, Vader. I think Vader won the first one.
I'm seeing. Yeah, it says I see. Not Vader did win the one I'm looking at, 1993. It was him and Sting as the final two. That's as much
I
detail
remember.
as I have.
Yeah, I remember something else. Yeah, Vader won the first one.
Man, remember
And it looks
when,
like it says the concept was created in 91, but I'm only seeing this 93 one as an event.
I thought there was two of them. I think I've seen two of
Well,
them.
either way. I mean, I feel like I don't think they could do maybe they could do this concept again today. It wouldn't be listen.
They could.
by the way, quick
Good.
side note, the reason I remembered it was Stevie Ray I will get to. It ties into something I'm going to get into. That's why I thought of it.
So I Googled Kane WCW. Anyway, to my point.
Wasn't there a Cole too?
Yeah, I think that's what their names
Cole
were.
and Kane.
for Booker
Cole?
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
no shit.
Yeah, his
This
name
is
is Cole.
That I'm
Oh,
trying to remember
man.
who that was.
Yeah, Cole was Booker, I believe.
Was that before they were Harlem Heat?
Yeah,
Okay, that
yeah, I
kind of
believe
makes sense.
so.
That kind of makes sense. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Mystery solved.
Man, well, just wild time. So besides Battle Bowl, any others that you like as we went on a long tangent about WCW Battle Bowl?
Well, no,
I'm
it's
not-
great because we
I'm
didn't
gonna
talk
have
about that last week. So
No,
there's
I'm gonna-
boom. There's a gimmick
I
match
mean,
right off the bat.
Yeah,
we didn't get to last week.
Like, we sort of not laughing. We're not laughing at the concept, but I'm gonna have to check it out now.
Yeah, of course.
I have to watch that too.
Is it on the cock?
I mean, yeah,
Of course it's on a
WCW
cack.
pay-per-view. It better be.
Oh, bro.
Bruh.
Got to throw on the cock later.
Yes.
I'll have a tweet to say about it if it's not on the cock.
The cock and the hub.
We'll tweet angrily
Tweet.
Yes,
with
yes.
much furor.
Whoa.
Should I get into some of these matches?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
just
do it.
start with your first one. I want to see how ridiculous. I want to see how deep of a rabbit hole you really went down with some of these.
As soon as I began doing research, this is the first thing that came up.
Yes.
And it's just kind of gross and weird and obscure.
Is it kind of a
Yes.
psych out?
So we're going to start with that. And I'm going to read this description verbatim here. This is
both
called
of
a
it.
DNA match.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Eddie versus Ray was a ladder match for the custody of Dominic, but go ahead, go on.
But that's
with
not
this
DNA.
match.
This is different. This is different.
Technically, that was custody, but anyway.
Go
Quick
on.
side tangent. Is anyone else disappointed that Dominic Mysterio didn't decide to become Dominic Guerrero?
No.
Like,
Damn it, I wanted that. Anyway, moving on. Halloween Havoc 2000 brought fans both the
Okay,
strangest.
hold on. Can I stop you for a sec?
Yes.
Halloween Havoc 2000 and whatever you're about to describe really all makes sense why
Of
this
course
even
it does.
exists.
Of course it does.
But anyway, continue.
Both the strangest and greatest thing David Flair ever took part in. His valet
Oh.
/ girlfriend, Miss Hancock, as some of you may or may not know, Stacy Keebler, got kayfabe pregnant, which almost always means the main guy isn't the father. Buff Bagwell came under suspicion, so he and Flair need to have a very specific kind of match about it. The result was a DNA match. Blech, I speak good English. Which is basically a first blood match, except that Flair needed to get a blood sample from Bagwell and immediately bring it to some lab technicians backstage. No part of that description was a joke.
so the point of the match was to make Bagwell bleed.
Get
So he
some
had
of
to
his
bust.
blood.
So step one is had to bust him open. Step
Yes.
2, he had to vial some of his blood. Step 3, he had to get it to the doctor at the back without Buff Bagwell stopping him.
Correct.
Now, spoiler, Buff Bagwell defeated David Flair in said first blood DNA match. So how does Buff Bagwell only have to win under
Pin,
regular first blood
submission,
rules?
Or does he have to? Oh, is it first? Okay.
Like, I mean, does he not have to? Did he not have to go through? I'm asking you as if you booked this shit. Did he not?
Squeaks.
Did he not have to?
Legally, he is not the father.
Bruce, who booked this shit?
I'm guessing.
So
Actually, no. Actually, the correct answer that I can give to that, because it's WCW, even though he was long gone at the time, to quote Eric Bischoff, fucking Kevin Sullivan.
So let me just go off of this and let's just forget. This sounds like a ridiculous match and it makes perfect sense for WCW in the year 2000, but a first blood match in general.
That's what I wanted to talk. That's what I actually wanted to.
Is anyone a fan of those? Because they sounded like a cool concept back in the Attitude Era, but
yeah, it did not age well.
No,
I don't really care too much for them.
There's only really one notable one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Which one's that?
Steve Austin versus Kane when
when Kane was fully
covered up, and for some reason, and earlier in the night, his brother threw Mankind off the cell.
Yeah,
you might know about that.
Yeah,
or you might have heard about that. And for some reason,
that was. I mean, I do remember
the cell came back down during their match, so I almost feel like technically that is a Hell in a Cell first blood match.
I do remember, like, I really enjoyed that. Like, it's funny because you guys say, like, when you guys were literally saying, like, oh, I don't really like first blood matches, I was really about to be like, what about Austin and Kane was a good one, which I never understood how you were going to make Kane bleed in the first place with the mask, but I thought that was part of the story, especially as a kid. I thought that was part of the intrigue, man. I was just like, I was a little kid rooting for Austin to somehow overcome all these odds, and then of course when he lost, it was just like, well, now I'm pissed because the Undertaker did it.
And then he wins it back the next night.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about the booking. We're talking about the match.
Right. But a first blood match, it made sense. I think it made sense for the Attitude Era, but it's still
But no, I don't think that obviously they haven't aged well.
No.
I mean, yeah, when's the last time anybody's ever even seen one? Because they don't do those really in AEW either, right?
I don't want them to bleed.
There was a random Raw in like 2000 where Jericho and X-Pac had one on Raw.
Which right there. Yeah, exactly.
No, wait.
That'll kill the gimmick.
Hold on. I'm looking
That'll
at
put butts in seats.
That'll put butts in seats. So I'm just going by the fact that
put butts in lazy boys.
It's the last one under the WWF/E list, so that's most likely the last one. I guess at One Night Stand 2008, John Cena defeated JBL.
Okay, I think I remember that one.
That was right at the very end of.
And in the beginning of the year, Triple H beat William Regal in one.
No, never mind.
There's one where Mr. Kennedy beat Undertaker at Survivor Series. I don't remember that. It's 2006.
It sounds like, I mean, it does sound like they were getting into that PG era kind of sort of in that time, and they were like, yeah, we're done with the blood here.
Oh, here's an obscure one I remember. Kane and the Undertaker, the Kane that we know, defeated
not WCW Kane.
Yes, defeated Haku and Rikishi. Remember Haku showed up for like a few months in the beginning of 2001.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was a weird time. Like they like that 01, 02 of like bringing in like those older WCW guys like Mr. Perfect again.
Yeah.
There was like that weird time of like all those older guys coming back.
That's when Goldust came back.
Yeah. Right.
No.
But
yes.
But overall, man, I don't know, man. I guess it's just one of those matches that doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm looking at the list. There was literally only 10 ever in WWF/E.
I mean, it makes sense. Like,
WCW had 5. ECW had 2 because I mean, isn't that just a match?
Yeah,
they had 2. They must have been the new ECW.
1 in 93 and 1 in 98.
Well, okay, see, 98's pretty late.
WWECW, what was it? Fucking Zack Ryder and Elijah Burke in a first blood match.
Oh no,
93. I don't even know if it was Extreme Championship Wrestling at that point. I think
it was ECW Super Summer Sizzle. Tony Stetson defeated Larry Winters.
Yeah,
that's probably
the
Eastern
second one.
Wrestling.
The second one, I'll let you guys guess guess each opponent, because let's just put it this way: it's two of the biggest names towards the end there. One who I think I've noted that I really don't like.
Jerry Lynn.
Nope, I love Jerry Lynn.
He used to bleed a lot. So
yes, he did. Him and Steve Corino were like the blonde dudes that bled.
Yeah, because blondes always love to bleed.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm wrong. Like, look at all the fucking.
Move on.
No, I'm telling. But I know how that sounded. All right, phrasing. That's fair. However, but like look at all the great blonde wrestlers when they get that cut over there, and then then you get that red streak in their hair. Like Ric Flair, obviously famous for that. You know what? You think of that on all the time.
HBK
in his younger days. Yep, when he had like the bleach blonde hair. Yep.
Okay. Let me put this way: these guys didn't have long hair.
It doesn't matter. It's just blonde, like blonde
hair.
I'm
talking about who was in this match. I mean.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Fuck off then.
Can
Harlem Heat.
Can I fuck back on?
I don't know. I feel like we're in agreement. I feel like we're in agreement. First blood matches.
Just Incredible and Tommy Dreamer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Was that WWE ECW though?
No, that was ECW.
That was actually okay.
That was CyberSlam '98.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Let's agree that match was just balls.
If I never see another one, I'm fine.
Yes. Let's put it that way.
I agree.
What are some other obscure ones? What was I gonna say?
Did you have a list?
Yeah, I do have a list. For some reason, there was a San Francisco 49ers match.
Okay, now this is I know for a fact this is WCW. This is Vince Russo 101.
I have no idea what this is. So you guys are gonna have to explain this to me.
I think Booker T was involved, but continue with your description if you have one.
Literally, just like it's just on a pole match with a box on each side of on each post. Wait. Yeah. Okay. On each corner, there was a box. One had the championship, and the rest had a surprise.
Wait, I remember this. The belt fell out of the box.
Yes.
So it kind of like ruined the. Yep. Okay.
That's classic WCW right there.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Booker T won that one.
It fell out of the box. That's great.
Here's a funny one. The Junkyard Invitational.
Okay, listen. Did you just look up
bad gimmick matches?
Did you just look up WCW 2000?
Yeah, those are all WCW.
No, this is 99.
Oh, excuse me.
Fair enough.
Did they shoot that with like a helicopter in the sky? Like
yeah. And it's awful. You can't it was so dark. The lighting was terrible. You couldn't follow the action at all.
And I think
I wanted to bring that up this week. It's funny that you brought that up because it's funny that yours on your list because that was like the one match I was thinking of this week. I was like, I can't believe we didn't talk about that fucking WCW fucking car brawl or whatever it was called. I couldn't even remember the name of the match.
Are you gonna go back in time? What's the? Oh man, it's like early WCW. It was with Dustin Rhodes.
Oh,
they're just in the what was that shit called?
In a moving truck.
Yeah. They're in the back of a truck.
Awful. Yeah.
Who did he face?
Barry Darso.
Yeah, they're just like they're just like driving along the highway and
fighting in the back of a pickup.
No, like a moving
or a Monte Carlo or something.
So basically, it predated Gang Beasts.
What's up?
Nobody here's played Gang Beasts, have they?
What's up with Dustin Rhodes getting into like car chase sequences?
It could be worse. He could be bald.
What?
Hit that motherfucker with the car. Never mind.
I get the reference, but boo.
Boo.
I can think of several bad ones. I don't know if they're on your list. But
did we talk about the Lion's Den match? Yes, we did. I think we did. Because that's what this reminds me of. Also, I heard that like guys got like sliced up on cars and stuff during this. It was just a mess.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure.
Okay. Oh yeah, let me just tell you who the who was in this match. Fit Finlay.
Nice.
Steven Regal.
Oh yeah.
Horace Hogan. Remember him?
No.
Right with Brian Knobs in it.
Good answer.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
No.
I see Sandman. I see my boy Mikey Whipwreck. Yep. La Parca, Ciclope, Jerry Flynn, Hugh Morris.
Jerry Flynn or Jerry Lynn?
Flynn. He was not important. It even says here.
I was gonna say, like, what? I thought you just fucked up or had a stroke.
Here's another. Moving along. Here's another one that was from my list. Anybody remember Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal?
Yes, it was on a magazine. They had it on a magazine.
That's an old match, although they did it in NXT not that long ago.
I was gonna say that. That's why that sounded familiar.
That's a WCW. That was a
Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc.
And they brought back Halloween Havoc. So there you go.
I mean, isn't that also like the Raw Roulette shit they used to do?
Basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like very similar to that, right?
Let's not actually no, some of those shows
had the wheel.
Actually, so one of those shows
or Taboo Tuesday. Remember Taboo Tuesday?
There was those.
Great concept back in the day.
Let me talk about that in a second. But as far as the WWE version of the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. Quick side note, I want to say the last one was the pipe bomb episode.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
The Raw Roulette thing?
Yes.
That makes sense,
long.
actually.
Yeah.
Because
like wasn't Cena in a tables match in the main event? That makes a lot of sense.
With R-Truth.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It was when R-Truth was kind of doing the evil little Jimmy thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember.
It was more
which by the way, that was like
not just funny.
No. When when R-Truth, first of all, R-Truth and the Miz, and when the whole little Jimmy thing started, like I was a big
Awesome
like
Truth.
I'm a big like Miz mark anyway, but like I love that whole era of like R-Truth and the Miz being a tag team together. I thought it was fucking genius.
They main evented at a fucking pay-per-view with The Rock. I mean,
dude, when they did that Survivor Series gimmick where they broke into the cage and beat everybody down, like I thought that was incredible. I was just like, wow, they really just put these guys over hardcore.
Yeah,
like they made them look so strong in that moment.
No, and they did. They did a good job with that.
I'm still waiting for another Miz. I'm still waiting for another Miz world title run. I'm saying that right here, right now. I'm waiting for it. Want it to happen.
In addition to a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Is that how long ago that was?
It was very short. Anyway, that was bullshit.
Yeah,
he was basically just holding it for Brock or whoever, the Fiend or whoever he dropped it to.
Well,
like the next week.
Well, basically, they just Bobby Lashley.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, I knew it was somebody like that. Yeah,
I think he was just a knee-jerk reaction to realizing why the hell did we put it on notice?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
the Money in the Bank. Yeah,
yeah.
The one that took the one where Baron Corbin basically almost murdered Rey Mysterio by throwing him off the fucking building.
Listen, two guys died in that match.
Oh yeah,
then they came back to life.
Yeah,
they came back.
Even though
it's wrestling. Pandemic wrestling's so weird, man. It was like a soap opera. Like you could literally just murder people on TV, but because it never happened on camera, they would just show up like 3 weeks later and be like, I was fine. I fell into a dumpster filled with pillows.
Yep.
Even though never mind the fact that the outer camera view basically, or the wide camera view clearly showed there was a whole other area.
I mean, you can't show a snuff film for lack of snuff film
body.
May I retort?
You may.
And actually, here's a fucking. I hope we never fucking see this again. The eye for an eye match.
It was
that was so stupid.
It was weird, but listen.
That's speaking of bad gimmick matches. That was so dumb.
It's a shame because everything leading up to it was a solid match.
Right.
I personally I'm not a fan of things happening to the eye in general. Like
yes.
Like I'm not like when I watch horror movies and things are going on with the eyes, like that's the part where I get like I can watch anything with blood and gore and anything else. As soon as I see like a drill going towards an eyeball, that's the moment where I gotta go, nope.
Yeah, I don't blame people who feel that way.
So to watch that match just wasn't fun for me anyway.
It just seemed like a stupid idea.
I mean, but you're also talking about pandemic wrestling where it was weird and they probably needed something to sell to an audience.
Yeah. I just didn't like I know I'm not that demographic obviously, but I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
I honestly thought they were gonna like pull some CGI shit and make it look a lot worse.
No,
than-
I'm so glad they didn't do that.
It was still kind of weird looking. Like you
It's
could,
all stupid.
if you looked, you
looking.
could see the eye, and it was just like, okay, you could tell that it's
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it
moving
looked
on.
so fake that I was actually strangely comfortable with it.
that match.
If it looked
let's-
realer than that, I would have been uncomfortable.
Let's hope that never happens again.
Yeah.
No, it won't. And hey, listen, Rey
Oh,
Mysterio.
here's
Wait,
one. that
did we just say Rey Mysterio was the one that got technically killed in the Money in the Bank, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio was murdered and had his eye ripped out, and he's fine.
And
So
he
I'm
was,
telling you,
and he was,
pandemic wrestling.
and he was lawn darted into a tractor trailer.
Yeah, but
Okay,
that was a long time ago, and that was a different time. And
That was
A
traumatized.
real long time ago.
Yeah.
real long
Hey.
time ago.
Made for a fantastic meme nowadays. Anyway,
Speaking of matches that I probably could do without ever seeing again, and only because there's not really ways it can go right and so many ways it can go wrong. A scaffolding match.
oh yeah,
Those
We-
were funny in a dangerous way.
we
They're-
did.
It's
did-
not.
we
It's
did
just not a
bring
good
this-
idea. And if
It
you're
isn't.
Yeah,
and if you're
we did.
wrestling against New Jack, he might try to murder you.
yeah. Because we brought up a scaffold match. I think we said New Jack, but did we actually go in and get into it? I don't think we did.
Oh, yeah, I don't think we actually talked about it much,
No.
but like that's something we definitely don't need to see more of.
They don't,
No.
New Jackson episode practically.
They don't
Yeah.
do them anymore.
No, because they're not like, especially if you're some fucking random like indie promotion, like how are you making that safe? Well, the fucking one we're mentioning, how do we make this safe? I don't know, put a bunch of tables down there. Like what?
just in case.
Yeah,
that's
when it hit correctly, it looked cool.
It's just an
huge
awful
It
idea.
is. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Just awful.
I just
Yeah,
I
go
get
watch-
the visual, but you're right. It's all
Right. Like go watch Dark Side of the Ring and get their story. That's all you need to see. But
I have
Mm.
one more before I pass it along to see if anybody else has anything they want to
yes,
bring up while
Let's
I go through my notes again.
go through the
Let's
rest of the
go.
WCW 2000 matches.
Oh no, this isn't WCW 2000.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is
Ooh, okay.
WWF 2001.
Go on.
I said it at the top of the show.
Uh-oh.
Duchess of Queensberry rules match,
Yeah, what
Now-
the fuck
or
is
as
that?
I call it, the Calvin Ball of wrestling.
The Calvin Ball.
Did you read Calvin Hobbes when you were younger?
Yeah.
Do you remember Calvin Ball?
No.
No.
Oh my God, who am I hosting this show with? Anyway,
You uncultured swine.
Yeah.
you dastardly. Anyway,
What a little bitch.
so
Weeks.
so this was during Chris Jericho and William Regal were
Your sister made out
feuding.
with squeaks.
I mean, well, when you said it, I assumed William Regal, but
Of course. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Jericho,
like, who
Jericho
else would be
peed
involved
in
in
his
it?
tea leading.
Yes, I remember.
Yes,
Well, I remember
yes.
that bit, but I don't remember Queens of Dingleberry match.
Duchess of Queensberry.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
You uncultured swine.
I think a Queen of Dingleberry match is a better idea.
Basically, there was someone playing the Duchess of Queensberry on the side, watching the match, and she could just call rules as she felt.
It's
Obvious-
so ridiculous.
Obviously, for the storyline's sake, in favor of Regal.
right.
Yeah, well,
This
gotta
was
defend the angle.
Backlash 2001, and also Regal was commissioner around this time, which
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
who's a better commissioner, Mick Foley or William Regal?
Well, Mick Foley would always wish everybody to have a nice day, so I feel like he's the
That is
nicer one.
positive.
Probably William Regal.
But
Oh,
William Regal.
yeah,
I
seems
feel like he
to-
would. I feel like he would enforce the rules more.
By
I've
the
always
way-
liked
all the
William
rules.
Regal in that authority role anyway. Like he did. I think he did a great
Yeah.
job with it. I know like he didn't get like a ton of camera time in NXT, but like he got just
Oh,
enough to like
his NXT run, perfect.
yeah.
Well,
And I
because
think,
every
like-
other,
And I think they did a good job of like not putting him on TV everywhere. Like you didn't need him to be like how Vince McMahon was back in the 90s
Yeah.
and the 2000s, or Triple H and Stephanie were on Raw a few years ago. Like he didn't need to be that guy. He just needed to kind of be that background guy that would every once in a while just step up and be like, all right, you guys can't settle your shit, so I'm going to settle it for you. this is how we're going to do it. And I thought he was like perfect for that role.
Yes, 100%.
Which is
Anyway.
like why I think he fits so well in like the whole Blackpool Combat Club like coach role that he's in now, because it's the same thing. Like he's a coach, he's a background guy. He knows William Regal's definitely a guy who knows his role in wrestling, accepts it, but relishes it.
Yes. He said so himself in the interviews.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
What about you guys?
And he's all, but while also, and just real quick to give him credit, while also being, as anybody in the business can probably tell you, one of the most brilliant wrestling minds in the business.
Absolutely.
So like, there's a guy who has so much, not only to offer the business, but like he loves doing so. And he knows that like, that's where he is supposed to be now. That's where his role is. And that's where he's, you know, that's what his role in wrestling is. And I think like he's really come to embrace that, obviously, like with his years in NXT, doing what he was doing down there. And now what he's doing in AEW, I'm sure he has a very similar role, coaching a lot of guys in there, not just the BCC guys. I'm sure those, obviously, you know, his whole gimmick thing, but I'm sure he's there coaching a lot of guys there. And I'm sure he's, like I said, he's one of the most brilliant minds in wrestling. So got to give him that.
Absolutely.
But a Duchess of Queensberry match we can do without, though.
Yes.
Well, one and done.
I just had to mark out for Regal a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was doing.
Yeah, fair enough.
What any that you guys
I'm gonna name a match that I would watch today if they brought it back.
Let's see.
And so I'm also gonna drop Ready to Rumble, great wrestling movie. Jimmy the King.
Love Jimmy the King.
Crown him.
Crown him. Do you know how many times like I've with my little cousins in the pool and stuff like that over the summer, where I just like come off like the side of the pool with a double axe handle and be like, I will rule you.
By the way,
who's in that movie? Oh my, who's the character? Who's the fucking old man, like wrestler trainer? I'm blanking on his line. I don't know why.
Want to wrestle? Sal Mandini. Want to
Yes.
wrestle?
Mandini.
Sal
That's
Mandini.
it.
Want to
That's it.
wrestle?
Oh man, but all right. I'm saying all this. The triple cage.
Yeah,
It's in
I
the
knew you were
movie.
gonna say that. Yeah,
Right. It's
Isn't
in
that
the
like
movie.
the Doomsday match?
No, it's
Yeah. Well,
isn't
kind
it
of.
well, I mean, does everyone remember what the triple cage was?
Mhm.
Kind of.
Like a glorified ladder match.
Yeah. You had to climb each
Yeah,
one.
you had to get to the top cage.
Right. I would, if they brought it back. They clearly won't, because one, I don't know how you fucking put that thing together. It probably takes, I don't even want to know how long. But you have obviously the Hell in a Cell structure on the first level. The second level, it's a smaller cage on top of that, just filled with weapons.
And
also
then like a shark tank on top.
Right, which then the belt is above that. And yeah, I don't know. I was into those matches at the time that didn't involve Vince Russo.
I like that one too.
That was
Like
bad.
See that again.
like I don't know. Like I feel like people were like, Triple Cage is stupid. Like there's just the list that Skylar read off. There was clearly worse shit going on in WCW at the time.
And I can name some of the
Right. But the Triple Cage, man, if they brought it back
think you did.
today, like is it like customized in any of these video games? Can we get it in like someone
Fire
figure? Yeah, exactly. You can customize enough shit.
maybe Fire Pro at best.
I don't
It's
think
fun-
you're gonna get it anywhere else. I
No.
mean, I don't know a lot
Without
about Fire Pro,
modding?
but
Without
Right.
modding.
It's funny
Yeah.
though, because like the first one in real life featured David Arquette, and then later on you had like Vince Russo making his way into the match. Which, by the way, Canyon took a nasty bump off that cage in one of them.
Yeah.
That-
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
What
like,
about
I-
the one they did in '95?
Man, who better but Canyon?
did they do it? Wait, well, now I gotta go back.
but Canyon.
Well, hold on now.
In
Which-
'95, they did it, or '94 or '95. Was uncensored. The Hulk Hogan and Macho Man had to go through the cage and fight the Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen.
Because of course they would book that match.
Yeah, I think it was Triple Cage, just like that.
Who was
Yeah,
in
they got
Dungeon
the-
Doom at the time?
And like
It wasn't Fall Brawl,
Fucking
was it?
Kevin Sullivan.
No,
Yeah,
it
I
was,
know. Obviously Kevin Sullivan, but who else?
it was uncensored. It was like '94. It was like their first year in WCW.
Was it Sullivan and the Giant? Was it Sullivan and
All those guys.
fucking yeah? It was
Like
Oh.
some were on the bottom, then another like a group of guys next.
I actually literally just pulled it up, ironically. Yeah,
Oh, here.
faced off against Ric Flair, Meng, Barbarian, Lex Luger, Kevin Sullivan, and Arn Anderson, and 2 guest foes in a triple decker cage. They fight through 2 foes at the bottom, worked their way up. Hogan had his ego. They all no-sold everything. The guests were Z Gangsta and Ultimate Solution.
Which one of them I didn't show up or something. I remember.
No, they showed up, but
I thought one of them.
first off, take a guess at who Z Gangsta was.
Oh, it was Zeus.
There you go.
I had
Oh,
that on
man.
me. Yes, I had that.
My grandmama bought me that chain.
I had that.
Ultimate Solution was Jeep Swenson, the man who
Love
played
Debo.
Bane. He played Bane in Batman and Robin.
Okay.
I don't
So
even
big-
remember that.
So big dumb Bane.
I don't even remember that.
I knew it was a pro wrestler who played Bane.
By the way,
muscled up version.
quickly, I just want to go back for a second, and also there was wait, no, okay, that's a different match. I just want to go back for a quick second. Dustin Rhodes in the truck. That was Blacktop Bully,
Yeah.
who was Smash of Demolition. That was a King of the Road match at Uncensored 95.
King of the Road match. Now,
And,
what are the stipulations for a King of the Road match?
It was stupid.
They faced off against each other in an 18-wheeler.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And it was going 55 miles per hour, or that's what they said.
Was it
really
like
wasn't.
speed where if it like dropped below that, then like
Nope.
instead
The
of
bomb would
blowing
go
up,
up.
It should have.
Nope. Just 2 idiots in the back, not idiots, but 2 guys in the back of a truck fighting. And
Like,
also,
like speed too. Instead of a boat, it's a bus.
and
God damn it, I
also,
was just gonna say.
and also they were both fired afterwards because they both bled.
Oh
They
yeah.
were both fired because they bled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was in charge at the time?
Turner.
Now,
So they said book a fucking
Now,
match where
now
you're on
they
a
said-
truck.
No, they said that there was a no blood rule, which I don't understand because
if you're fighting
It
in a
was
moving truck,
it was also pre-recorded. Just edited it the fuck out.
Wait, it wasn't live?
Well, you said that was 95, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess good for everybody else that's what happened in 95, because what happened in 96? Goldust showed up. So
That's true.
thanks, Turner.
I just want to see something real quick here before I go on.
love Gold Dust.
We talked about Brawl for All, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
really
we've discussed. Did we talk? We talked about.
We didn't actually like discuss it.
I feel like all we talked about was Butterbean and then Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, we went off on a Johnny Knoxville tangent after that. That's right. Brawl for All, I like. That's like one of those things I've always wanted to go back and like rewatch the whole thing, but at the same time, like
It won't take you that long. To be
yeah,
fair.
I know that's true, but like I know it's awful, but at the same time, like I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Isn't that the kind of the point to go rewatch it because you know it's awful?
Yeah,
I rewatched most of it. It's really fucking bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really bad. There's a
Oh,
couple
like-
of knockouts, but it's really
it's a great idea in theory. Like, obviously, like even knowing what you know about it and how it played out, it's a good idea in theory of just like going into locker room of being like, all right, hey, who actually wants to fight?
yeah, it's
All right, we'll sign you up.
just don't beat. Just make sure you don't beat the guy that Vince
Right.
wants to
Hey,
win,
we're-
because
we're-
otherwise you're
hey.
going to get knocked out by
Yeah.
Butterbean.
Right. Hey, we're booking this for Dr. Death to look strong, but it's a shoot fight. Because JR probably wanted it. I don't know.
bad idea. That turned out. It was terrible.
Didn't he want it because he wanted it. Yeah.
Because he's a legit badass, and then he could go and go on and do whatever he was gonna do. I don't know. I'm sure I've heard stories on different podcasts about it, but yeah, it
Don't
turned
understand that.
into again Bart Gunn probably getting false confidence as we discussed, and then getting his ass kicked
clock
by
cleaned.
Butterbean.
Oh my God. Oh.
By
Now,
the way, I just want to
those
say
guys. Go ahead, Scott.
I just want to say I do have two good matches I want to talk about. So,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, this episode isn't all doom and gloom, but continue.
So real quick before that,
I think the people like the doom and gloom though. Not everything is good.
I mean, yeah, life is sad. Anyway, what do you think? Like, now keeping in mind, like all these guys, like you said, they kind of voluntarily signed up because they were like the tough guys in the locker room. They wanted to go out and prove it. Like, what do you think those guys like had to deal with when they went back through that curtain as the losers in those matches, man?
I feel like not much because like it's a shoot fight. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's not much people could say. I feel like if I lost and I went back there and someone's shit talking, I'd be like, okay, you go out there and do it.
Yeah, good point.
It probably wasn't a big deal.
No, they were probably like, fuck, all our guys are getting hurt. This is a terrible idea.
Yeah,
we can't stop it though.
Skylar, I have a real good shitty one for you before you
go to the good ones.
Oh yes.
Well, I was going to say the three of you, if you have any, but at this point,
I do.
By all means.
Yeah. The WrestleMania 7 blindfold match with Martel and Jake the Snake.
Oh my God, I hate that fucking match so much.
Yep.
We brought up.
It's the worst thing I've ever had to sit through
again,
in my life.
We talked about blindfold matches.
I think we did.
Yeah, but we didn't specifically talk about that one.
We did.
That is actually one that I've watched, and I can tell you, like, and yeah, Skylar, I'm sure you've watched WrestleManias too, so I'm sure you've seen it. But like,
it's so bad.
I remember
walk away for a second.
And the reason why this memory burns me so much. My family and I, my parents, my brother, my sister, we were all taking a trip to Florida to go visit some other family that had moved down there. Plus my dad's parents had been living down there for the past 30 years or whatever. So we were like, going to go see everybody that's down in Florida. We're taking a road trip. We drive down. I decide, this is like a few months before WrestleMania, I want to try and watch every single WrestleMania before WrestleMania. So I start at 1 and I start like on this road trip. So I'm like, we're literally just driving on the road. I'm using my phone's data as the whatever, wireless, the Wi-Fi. And this is before I had unlimited data, by the way. So I definitely burned through all my data like before we hit Georgia.
We all did.
Yeah. So we get down there and I'm watching like all the WrestleManias back to back, and watching that match. I was in Florida at my aunt and uncle's house, sitting on my laptop, just watching it in their house. And I was just like, this is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, why would you ever think this is a good idea? This is fucking miserable. Like it ruined my whole buzz of watching WrestleManias. I was just like on a wrestling kick until that match. And then I was like, I need to take a break.
What's actually funny is I had the same reaction because I did the same thing when my son was born, and I was in the living room with him trying to get us both to sleep. As he was passed out, I started from WrestleMania 1 and worked my way up.
Yep.
And you are right. Goddamn that fucking match.
It sucks so
I kept
hard.
watching. I
just took a break. I got back to it like the next day, but I was just like, that's enough for tonight.
That's
like I was just like, I was done after that.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously it wasn't the main event, so it was in the middle of a show. How do you, I guess easy to recover from it. Anything is better than that at that point.
Yeah,
but,
true.
Yeah, blindfold, Matt. There's a lot.
They
like
can see through it too. They can see through that hood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's all work. Yeah.
Right.
Which makes it even worse.
Right.
Because you could still work and pretend like you're not seeing each other and still work.
I think maybe they learned from it, because I feel like anytime they ever did it in the future, I think it was just a random like Raw segment or SmackDown segment.
I don't think they're ever good. Like I like didn't there was one like recently, I feel like. I don't know if it was AEW maybe even. Or maybe it was I feel like I've seen one recently where I was just like, this is still not a good idea.
No, it does no.
Like not recently, like I'd say within the last like 5 years. So that's why I was like, maybe it might have been like AEW, but it also might have been like something on like SmackDown or something like that, like 5 years ago. I can't remember.
Exactly. Like it's not something memorable, just something, hey, let's further this feud. Blindfold match, whatever.
Yeah.
Or something.
I have another shitty one. It's not necessarily a gimmick that goes into a match, but it was just the match itself was supposed to be an actual gimmick, Undertaker versus Undertaker.
Yeah.
Who played the fake Undertaker?
Brian Lee.
Okay.
And that was
Chains.
Yep.
yes.
I was like the name.
I was gonna say I know he had another name. Yeah.
That was SummerSlam 94,
94.
94.
Yeah.
And didn't they have Leslie Nielsen like investigating where the Undertaker disappeared to leading up to the show?
They did all that stuff
really
to
fucking
WWE
sounds like that too.
I remember.
Why was he out? Did he get like was this that time where he had
I think it was
right.
his orbital bone.
Okay.
Right?
Was it from Yokozuna?
Yeah, I think he really did actually crush his face.
He did.
Yeah, well, he had that mask for a little while after.
Yeah, that's it. And also, I guess
Phantom of the Taker.
Yeah,
Phantom of the Taker, yeah. Other trivia, because if we're talking about Taker versus Taker, I guess we have to talk about Kane versus Kane, and I feel like we all know who fake Kane was or is.
The new one, right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, no, there was only.
Well, not. God damn it, not. I mean, everyone knows who played the fake Kane. Not Stevie Ray.
I mean, Kane was at one point fake Diesel, so I was kind of backtracking. I think.
All right, not Isaac Yankum, not fake Diesel, not fake Kane. Which
yes,
of course,
but fake Kane was Doc Gallows.
Doc Gallows.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was like, there was silence. I'm like, am I fucking wrong on this? Am I
no.
questioning myself?
I
now?
literally, because like the first thing that popped in my head, like I almost said out loud, was fake Diesel. Just because my brain was working backwards.
And what the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure fake Kane won that match too.
Yeah, probably at the time, sure.
And didn't they just like drop that immediately? Like
it was leading up to that movie, See No Evil.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
It was like a May
Which
19th or something like that.
I remember I watched
that
movie. I can't really remember all that much about it.
Was it any good?
I think like we liked it at the time, but I was like 13 and it was a
Okay.
horror, bloody, gory movie. So of course I liked it.
CM Punk starred in a fucking horror movie. It's like not that long ago. These guys getting random movies.
Yeah, it was called Super Kick Party. On My Door.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I said horror, not comedy.
Our movies can be
Do
funny.
what you can do
Fair enough. Anybody else?
it.
Some bad ones. I mean,
I do have another bad
yeah,
one.
keep
It coming.
going.
Keep it coming.
I feel like I don't know how we talked about all that stuff in WCW and didn't mention the fucking Judy Bagwell on whatever.
We got to that last week.
We
Trust
did.
me.
We just
We didn't
said
go into
anything on a
detail.
poll. Right.
We didn't
Again,
go
that
into
was another
detail.
one we glazed over.
Right.
So,
Like,
by all means,
How
That
did
one
that-
I'm not as familiar with.
how did
I know
like,
what it is, but
Yeah,
I
how did
think
the
I'd quit watching WCW at that point.
I think everyone did.
exactly. Like
Don't even remember watching any
Like,
of that.
so Judy Bagwell was Buff Bagwell's mom, or kayfabe mom anyway, and they had some kind of match like dealing with like the custody of Buff Bagwell's mom because she got attached to who was it against? Who was this? feud against?
Canyon.
Who better than Canyon?
Positively Canyon. Yeah, he was stalking her.
Oh my god! And so he was fighting.
Oh, and also let's not forget the pole was actually a forklift.
Yeah,
That I remember.
Interesting.
God damn.
That's is that Vince Russo booking?
I mean, yeah, it's
Who
got
booked
to
this
I
shit?
believe so. Bruce, who booked this shit?
like
There might be Nope, that's 2000. Never mind. That's got some Russo shit.
I thought of this when you brought up that San Francisco
Bro.
49er match with all the boxes. TNA for the longest time did a Feast or Fired
Mhm.
Oh,
Match?
yeah, the briefcase.
I remember that.
where they had four briefcases and you just had to grab one from a corner and one
I
of
remember
them.
that.
3 were
like-
championships. One was
Yeah.
you're fired.
You're fired.
That's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah,
But they
that was
did it
dumb.
for a long time.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
they
few of
did.
those.
I would kind of like to see that done in some sort of different reiteration again, though. I want to see it done somewhere else. With
Maybe
like,
you don't have
without-
to do like the you're fired part, but maybe you can have like different briefcases for different titles and have like tournaments for like choices of your briefcases. Like maybe do something like that.
there's a way to do it, but just like the weird, like, oh, someone's getting fired. Like, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah,
weird.
I think that's weird. I think that's like, why does somebody have to get fired?
I feel like they timed it just in time for somebody to let their contract expire or something.
No,
like that.
they absolutely did.
Which is,
But
I get it if like you want to make somebody's exit memorable for TV, but like, I don't know, man. Like,
no, I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's a terrible idea.
yeah, because
Right.
like,
I mean,
because
it's obviously
like a lot of fans nowadays, especially with fucking all the stupid, fucking dirt sheets and podcasts. Not ours. Ours is good. But
Goddamn right.
with all the other
God damn
stupid
it,
shit
yep.
out there, like a lot of people are pretty like smart to the fact that like when guys' contracts are coming up, they know that like certain guys are leaving. So like, of course, when you put like that guy that everybody knows that is leaving in that situation, of course, you know how it's going to end for that guy. Like I just feel like it's kind of stupid and a waste of time. Like, if he was a prick and you want to bury him on the way out, I guess that's your every right to do so. If you want to let him go out with like a couple wins and then do something special for his last match, cool. But like, why make a whole angle out of the briefcase thing when everybody knows the guy's leaving in the first place?
Right, exactly.
They all leave afterwards. Hold on.
Wasn't there another shitty?
Oh, you can definitely gimmick it too, but sorry.
No, so wasn't there another really weird, shitty one that was being discussed beforehand? I don't know if I couldn't remember if you had it on the week before, but somebody mentioned it last show. With the Boss Man and Al Snow, the kennel match.
Oh,
we were going to get
Okay.
to that today. We were
Yeah.
definitely going to get to that today because
Okay.
I know we
Yes.
didn't really get to it
No.
last week.
we mentioned it. So let's backtrack, and just the storyline to get to it was, I don't remember the beginning of why Al Snow even had a dog on TV, but I
Because he
feel
lost
like
head.
okay, that actually makes sense. So like the storyline of just like Boss Man trying to be nice and inviting him to his hotel and then feeding Al Snow his dog, to then get to fast forward to this kennel from hell, which again,
Worst.
So- I feel like it's not a terrible concept in theory, but then when you actually execute it, it's
I
just
think
like,
it's pretty bad all around, if I'm being
well,
honest.
was it? So you had the Hell in a Cell, but wait,
Think about
was
it in this way: if it went right and the dogs did look vicious, and a guy like falls out of the ring and there's vicious dogs surrounding the ring, how well would that have played out?
probably not great.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think it's kind of a lose-lose here, buddy.
This is true.
I think the whole concept's
terrible.
kind of a wash.
I mean, I'm not trying to fucking talk it back into existence.
I
Fucking
hope
Mike,
not.
fucking Mike Vick's gonna show up with his
Oh no!
fucking.
Bad idea that was. And
It
then
just
by the
got
way-
just got sad.
the dogs were
Yeah.
shitting and stuff outside.
Oh, it was great,
All they were doing
We're,
was shitting and humping.
Yeah.
but like, it's just bad all around. Well, it was the Hell in a Cell with the dogs in it. Was there? And then was there also a cage around the ring too?
Yeah, there was. There was like
Mhm.
Fuck me. Who booked that shit? Like if that was Vince Russo, he had Vince McMahon that had to filter it, and he was still like,
and he still
sure.
got it through. Holy shit! Who
It was
booked
the
that shit? I
drizzling
feel like we've been
shit.
saying that a lot today. That should be like in the subtitles of the title of the show. Who
Yeah.
booked that?
Who
shit?
booked-
Who
who booked
booked
that
this
shit?
shit?
But it's just
Gimmick
brutal,
matches
man.
part 2, the revenge.
Who booked this shit?
They
Boss-
always had
Electric
Boss
Boogaloo.
Man
Boss
with
Man.
the shit.
Boss Man in that like late 90s, like 99 run had some fucking classics with feeding Al Snow his dog, Big Show jumping on and stealing Big Show's dad's casket.
Yeah, and then they hung him.
Speaking of,
They hung
speaking
him
of,
too.
damn
was
it, I was
earlier in
going to
the
say,
year, but
speaking
yes.
of Big Show and gimmick matches, he got hung from Hell in a Cell. So
They hung the Boss Man.
I can't believe I remember watching that as a kid. I was just like, this seems like this isn't going well. Like, yeah, I didn't know. Like, I was just
You
like,
said-
this doesn't look good.
You said Big Show and gimmick matches, and it reminded me when we were talking about barbed wire that I forgot to bring up the barbed wire steel cage between JBL and Big Show, and where
I forgot about that.
they just had barbed wire around the top, but
Yeah.
yet there's, or maybe they took away the door rule. I can't remember what they did, but then JBL won because he got like chokeslammed through the ring and then he just crawled out from under the apron.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I
another
remember
one
that
that-
now. Yeah.
'Cause I
No,
remember-
because like it was, I do remember that whole thing. So like
Right.
it was basically so JBL couldn't get away because
Right. Yeah, right.
he's JBL.
he's doing typical heel shit and
He's
cheating.
doing typical JBL stuff.
Right.
Guy's not even good, just cheats.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even good. He just cheats all the time, really.
With that this thing went clean. This is boring.
What makes him a good
As-
wrestler?
As
Just
all,
cheats. Cheats all the time.
as all the Twitter takes about Roman Reigns, even though that's not what we're referencing. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But fuck me, man. But yeah, that Boss Man late '90s run, underrated.
I love Boss Man,
Wild.
man.
His whole
No,
character.
the whole run, but specifically that
Obviously,
Attitude
I
Era
love
run.
Boss Man. like,
Like-
that needed to go without saying. I used his finish, but like the huge Ray Trailer guy. I thought one of the best big man workers of all time. Got to, the dude. He can move in the ring. He did a lot of things that like big guys were not supposed to do. One of the coolest finishes, in my opinion, of all time. And dude's one of my idols for sure. Like he's Shawn Michaels and Macho Man are like 1 and 2. I'd say Ray Trailer's probably up there, and if not 3 in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, yes, and he basically started the hardcore. He was there for the beginning of the hardcore title too.
Yep.
It started that with Foley and Road Dogg.
I think he was the second champion.
Yeah, he was the second champion. Dude, he was fucking character was wild, Boss Man.
Yeah.
Late 90s.
Oh yeah. 90s
This
Boss
was
Man
all
was
over the
nuts,
place.
dude.
It was
Like
crazy.
anytime I saw Boss Man on, like especially like the corporation days, like that whole era of Boss Man, I was just like, this dude is like I thought like for some reason, like all I thought of was like a sociopathic cop. Like I thought like this is like one of those cops that like all they want to do is just beat people up and throw them in a cell. That's what I thought of the Boss Man back in the 90s.
His gimmick was thick. Gimmick was crazy.
Yeah.
And it lent itself to all that. I mean, it lent itself to the kennel match, but it's
That's it wasn't a good match, but
No.
I mean, but Boss Man's awesome. So it's
Yeah,
not his who booked this shit. I'm sure Boss Man didn't book it.
Yeah.
all the time.
What a run. Yeah, anyone else got some other shit ones? Not dog shitting on the floor, but just bad.
Yeah, I mean, not
gimmicks.
actual dog shit.
Oh, I'm gonna bring up the Inferno match.
Weird. I mean,
Again,
the first time I saw, I was like, oh, this is.
I was
thought it
intrigued.
cool the
I was
first time, for
intrigued by
sure.
the idea, but again, and then they brought it back. Like they didn't call it an Inferno match though. It was like a Ring of Fire match.
Ring of Fire match. It was Bray Wyatt's debut against Kane.
Thank you.
Main
Okay,
roster debut.
Thank you.
And
SummerSlam, whatever year that was.
I remember, like, I think like the first
It was a
Inferno match,
Sunday evening.
Yeah,
Sunday evening show.
most of them are.
They shouldn't be.
The first Inferno match I thought was awesome. Like, but again, I was a kid, like, so of course,
Right.
big flames, I'm cool, I'm all about it. But I
Right.
felt like every time they did it after with that, the flames got smaller and smaller. Probably rightfully so, because the guys probably told them, "Hey, we can't work in there; it's too hot. You got to turn those flames down."
Yeah. Well, the visuals were cool. Granted,
yeah.
as a kid, I have no idea that they're
These guys are roasting in there.
Well, not even that,
yeah.
but like even just like every bump, the flames would shoot up. Like I have no
Yeah.
idea as a kid that someone's controlling that. I'm just thinking like, whoa,
Yeah.
look at that.
No, yeah, me too, obviously, but even more so than that, like I just realized, like as when the next few ones they had, I felt like they never just held up as well as the first one did. So I just I just did not really enjoy them after that first one.
Yeah, agreed. I have a little bit of a hot take that I'm not a big fan of the Elimination Chamber. I think
Very
it's
hit or
kinda-
miss.
It's kind of just
yeah,
like I remember like the first couple were cool.
yeah,
The Edge cash in first one after that Elimination Chamber, I was at that show because it was in Albany, and I remember
Oh, wow,
like
yeah.
that was the one I saw live, and I remember just being like, it's kind of when you're live, it's sort of hard, like it's sort of hard to see what's going on.
yeah, I would imagine
Like obviously, TV different perspective. You have the camera guy in the
cell
in
or
the chamber, but I mean, I'm not saying that people should have to take bumps on those steel grates that did not give it all, like in the beginning, because like they added mats to it, which again, safer, but I feel like for the visual, it takes away. Again, I'm not trying to compromise people's safety, because clearly we saw what taking bumps on that goddamn grate did.
Oh, it's not good. It would not be good to do that. Like, I would rather take a back bump. I would rather take a back bump on a flat cement floor than do that on that grate any day.
Yep. Right. And literally like no give, like where, like what, like it's not even, it's just ouch.
Yep.
But
that's the thing. You have to make it safe for these guys. So of course, like making it safe for these guys, unfortunately, kind of takes away from a little bit of the visual and the impact of it. But you know, who are we to be like, fuck you, we want your blood?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But just, I don't know. Like I said, if they did away with that, like I said, I guess people love it. It's still its own pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, before Mania, I know it's a good way to decide whether who's going to be a champ going into Mania or who's going to be a number one contender going into Mania. Like it's a good concept for that. But as a match itself, I'm kind of hit or miss. I don't really.
Well, somebody always like mandatory has to go to the fucking pod now. Like it has to break. Right. Break the pod.
Well, actually,
you need that oh my god moment in the match, and that's like what it is usually in that. But
right.
Either that or it's like, you know, Kofi doing a backflip off one of them.
Right. Going through the bulletproof
glass.
Pod glass, just much like the
which is very clearly just plain old plexiglass.
Right. Right.
The first time, whatever. I think Goldberg was the first one that broke through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, all right, it was a big deal then, but now it's like mandatory. Like everybody has to break the fucking pot.
Right. You could put that up there with like the 500-pound steel steps when they decide they want to sell it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those steel steps, they weigh 500 pounds. No, they don't.
Just like all the steel.
No, they don't. They definitely don't.
You guys remember the stairs match?
No, is that a gimmick? There we go. Let's talk about a stairs match next.
Because they probably had to throw it on like Extreme Rules.
It was TLC, tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs. It was
Cena in it.
No, but I think he main evented that pay-per-view in a chairs match. It was Eric Rowan and Big Show, I want to say.
Interesting.
And that's all you need, and that's all this topic deserves. Anyway.
Yeah. Again, I'll bring up Big Show again. Tables match, one of the best endings to a tables match. Him and Cody Rhodes, when Cody simply kicked him off the apron and his foot went through the table.
Yep.
And everyone,
that's a great ending.
And everyone booed, but
it's a great finish.
Yeah.
It's a great finish.
He technically went through the table.
Yep.
His leg is part of him.
Yep. And it was an offensive move that put him through.
He went through the table.
Yep. It's a great finish. It really is.
Yes, it is.
It's like, because how else is Cody Rhodes going to put Big Show through a table? He's not going to body slam him.
Yep.
He's not going to lift him up to put him onto a table to like hit a top rope move. How is he going to do it?
He ain't going to crossroads him.
How would you do that through a table anyway? Even if you could.
Punch my mouse.
He'd find a way. He's Cody Rhodes.
Oh, no. Bruce, what happened?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, you just knocked your mouse away?
Yeah.
Good job.
Decided to pick it up.
Anyway. Any more? Let's see. Skylar, you said you had some good ones, right? Not, you know.
I have two notable ones I feel like we didn't really touch upon last week. Although I don't know how much, maybe we did touch upon it because I'm thinking.
Let's hear it. And I'll tell you if we did.
Did we talk about Aztec Warfare?
No, I don't even know what this is. So.
Nope, me neither.
So, Chris, did you watch any Lucha Underground?
Yes. Yeah, I watched all of it.
Do you remember Aztec Warfare?
Yeah, I do.
Aztec Warfare was actually those matches were cool.
I love those. They always do them at the end of the season.
Yes, exactly. Basically, I think they're all 20. Okay, first one was 21, or second one was 21. The others are 20. Oh, probably because the last one had a surprise. The second one had a surprise. Basically, imagine a Royal Rumble, but instead of throwing them over the top ropes, pinfall submission it takes place all over the arena. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Lucha Underground, the Temple.
Yeah,
there's a lot of glass you could put guys through, for example.
Wow. It's a very small like arena too, right?
Yeah, but there's like a lot of like gimmick stuff in there, like
cool concept. I actually like that a lot.
Those matches were actually really good.
And it took up like a good part of the show. Like it was long.
I think sometimes it was the episode.
Yeah, it was usually like the finale.
The second one was the entire episode, actually.
Was it a 1 hour show?
Yeah.
So the second
So
one
it's
actually
40-minute
is the
match,
one
give or
I
take.
remember first.
Where can
and
I watch Lucha Underground?
It was on Netflix for a bit, but they took it off.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where.
I know. Where?
Sure, we can find it for you.
Demon
Google it.
Google it.
Ooh.
Um,
Stream wrestling torrents.
Anyway, very quickly, because this is the one I remember the most, Aztec Warfare 2. I just want to read off the names that were in here because a lot of familiar names. In order in which they came in. The champion, Phoenix, followed by the surprise debut of Rey Mysterio.
Who's in that? No kidding.
Who eliminated,
yeah.
I want to say, number 3, King Kurno with an armbar. It's like, okay, that's a new one, Ray. Argenis, no idea.
Was this around the same time Rey Mysterio killed the guy? It happened.
Yeah, he wasn't
sure
in
did.
WWE. This was like when yes, that did happen. No, this was when he was like doing he was here. He showed up in New Japan for a spot.
Right.
That's what
before
yeah,
he-
it wasn't in Japan where like somebody died in his match.
Oh
thought it was
no,
in
no,
Mexico.
that was
He's 619 somebody with a broken neck.
wasn't
I mean,
that
that dude was like he
wasn't
already
that
had a
Me-
broken neck.
I thought that was in Mexico.
What?
Oh, was it?
Wait, was he completely
Maybe it was
fine?
Mexico.
I think it was Mexico because I remember reading that the medical staff was a bit lax. Like they literally they literally put him on a board and did nothing,
Yeah,
which I'm sure didn't help. But what I know we're getting sidetracked because we're talking about this now, but now
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
on my mind. No, but like what did it? Was it the kick? Like was he
It was
hurting
the-
already? And or
No,
did
it
the
was-
kick just straight up break his neck the way he like did the little rope spot?
It was the whiplash on the rope. He broke his neck on the rope, and then Ray hit him with a 619.
Okay.
Ray probably did. I don't think Ray knew.
No,
No.
of course Ray didn't
No.
know.
Yeah, of course.
Ray, of course
Obviously,
Ray
he
wouldn't know.
Obviously, he would not.
And of
Yeah.
course, I'm not actually blaming Ray. It's kind of like a tasteless joke. All right, I'll admit that. But when
hear
I
what I
say
said
that
earlier?
Rey Mysterio killed a guy, like obviously it's a tasteless joke when I say that he didn't obviously kill him. He had, it was
Right.
a freak accident. But
Yeah,
the
right.
dude, what happened was is that when he fell on the rope after taking the drop kick to the knee or whatever Ray hit him with to get him to the rope, his head snapped back, and then when he fell back down, he just went limp. And then Ray hit him with 619, and he just kind of stayed there and kind of just like fell over,
Yep.
and it was kind of over after that.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry to bring that back down to that downer, but that
So
happened.
I was about to say something more positive, but then it's followed by something negative again.
I bring
number
things to
five.
dark places.
Number 5, Johnny Mundo.
Mhm.
Johnny last name.
Johnny last name. Yes.
Yep.
Dude, he was Johnny Hardy recently.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the honorary Hardy.
Yeah. Number 6, getting depressing again. Joey Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of tragic.
Tragic. Number 7, Prince Puma. Some of y'all might know him as Ricochet.
Yep. I was gonna say that's Ricochet.
Number
that
8,
name.
Jack Evans.
Is that Jack Gallagher?
No, that's
No.
Jack Evans.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Jack Evans is he was in that tag team in AEW. Yeah.
Hybrid Squared.
I can't. They haven't been around in forever, so I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Well, no, and one of them's gone.
Him and
So
Angelico, yeah.
one of them are still there.
They were a
couldn't tell
great
you.
team in Lucha Underground. I used to love watching their matches.
No, yes, they were awesome in Lucha Underground. Number 9, Taya.
That's
Valkyrie.
that's Valkyrie, right? Yeah.
Yes. 10, Cage.
Brian.
Yep, Brian Cage.
Yep.
Man they call Cage, whichever. 11, Mascarita Sangrada. Not sure who that is. 12, Martinez. Marty the Moth. 13, Drago. 14, Willie Mack.
Interesting.
No,
I know who he is.
the
Yeah.
Mac.
Yeah, I know Willie
15, Chavo Carrero.
Yep.
16, PJ Black.
Yep.
Who
Oh,
we
yeah.
all might know as fuck, what was his name in WWE?
Justin
Come on,
Gabriel.
come on.
Justin
Yep.
Gabriel, thank you. 17, Aerostar, who's very good. 18.
Is that like Starman from the old like Nintendo game?
or
He was
Mega
the
Man.
best. I'm just saying, greatest wrestler of all time. Starman.
18, Dragon Azteca Jr., 19, Texano, 20, Mil Muertes, and then the surprise was Mantaza Cueto.
Jeff Cobb.
Yep. Dude fucking did a fucking standing shooting star press on the Chavo. At the time, it was an impressive visual. He's huge.
Jeff Cobb's incredible,
Yes, he is. Jeff Cobb is very talented.
and he's freakishly strong.
Yes.
That what's the name of his finish?
Toward the Islands?
Tour of the Islands. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Tour of
Hero-
the Islands finish. That's not an easy move to pull off.
No,
have
it
to
is
have
not.
some serious fucking strength to whip your guy one way, stop your momentum, and just whip him around the other way.
Fuck yeah, that looks like it hurts to all hell. Both of
He's
them.
probably gonna have back problems when he gets
Yeah.
older.
Also in Lucha Underground, it was called Wrath of the Gods, which is a pretty cool.
That's a good name for
That
it,
is
yeah.
that is a damn good name.
Something to check out though. We'll have to.
That was
nice.
entertaining as fuck. It was like 3 seasons, I believe.
I want to check out.
Oh, no,
Lucha
there-
I know,
Underground.
I've been
was
wanting
one-
to for years.
There was one each season.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I remember Pentagon Dark won one of them to retain the title.
We make fun of
he-
Johnny last name. I think.
Yeah, I was
I
about
was-
to
I
say
was gonna
Pentagon
say-
last name.
I was going to say Pentagon.
Pentagon last name.
but
Wait, how do you say the last name in
That's
Spanish?
what I'm trying to.
Yeah. There you go.
Quick Google Translate.
Yep.
That of
Ultimo
course.
Nombre.
Ultimo el Apellido.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah. So that was so yes, one. We should definitely watch some of those.
Yeah.
There was one for each season, and
Might have to do
two.
one of those for a watch along. We'll just do one of those matches for a watch along one time.
So the other match I wanted to bring up
Yes.
to kind of bring this all back around, and hopefully end on a high note. So I think we didn't talk about War Games, did we?
We might not have.
The sixth. Oh wait, no, not War Game. I'm sorry, we didn't talk about War Games. I was thinking of. I was
Now,
thinking of World War
first
Three
off-
again. I was thinking
now
of World
fir-
War Three again.
No, I
Exactly.
can't. I have no more words for World
No.
War.
Yeah, I was about to
it
say we
doesn't
went over
deserve-
World War Three a lot.
It doesn't
War
deserve
Games,
the
yeah.
words.
No,
I
War
mean,
Games. We
while-
didn't talk
while
about
we're-
it, no.
While we're on World War Three, Chris, did you watch all the? Have you seen World War Three?
Like, no.
The 60-man battle royals in WCW with the
60
three
man,
rings. Come
3
on.
rings.
Right. I've seen them all, but I've never watched one from start to finish without falling asleep. I've never.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
Fair.
like,
there's
yeah.
there's one from
Those matches
I wanna
only
say
like 20 minutes long too.
I want to say it's
Never-
from
Can't follow it.
I want to say it's from 1991. Like some people consider it like the best match in WCW. Trying to remember what.
The
it was.
original War Game or 91 War Games.
Yeah, it was. No, this doesn't seem right.
Did it go back? Like, didn't it go back further than that though?
Well, which is the
Oh,
one
yeah.
with the electric chair? Because that one was pretty bad.
Oh, that one's terrible. They had to pretend that they were actually getting electrocuted.
Yeah,
That wasn't war. That was that Abdullah the Butcher that right? That got.
yeah.
I believe so.
I-
Oh
that
no,
wasn't-
the electric chair match.
Was that 2 rings though? Or
I don't
I-
remember.
Was it that same
Am I remembering that
pay-per-view though? I feel like there was.
I know for a fact that's called the Chamber of Horrors match. By the way,
Okay.
so let's.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it is. By the way, it is Chamber of Horrors.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah. So
good.
the War Games I'm talking about in general, I believe this is the one. It's like considered the best match in WCW history. Sting Squadron, Sting, Barry Windham, Dustin Rhodes, Ricky Steamboat, and Nikita Koloff defeated the Dangerous Alliance. Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbysko.
Yeah,
And I've seen
I believe that 100% listening to those names. I believe that's a
I've seen
great
that one.
match. How could that match
actually
not
great.
be good?
So
That was entertaining.
Especially like WCW Steve Austin, like before
Stunning
Before all
Steve
the
Austin.
injuries, Steve Austin was not the same worker he was in WWE.
Oh God, he was a technician and a half.
That's what I'm saying. Like that
yeah,
dude could
the
move.
injuries made him become a brawler.
Primarily the
Yep.
0-1.
Yeah.
I
So
think
this was 90. This was 92, by the way.
92 in Jacksonville.
If you want the 91, yeah, because 91 had a War Games.
91 was Flying Brian,
had the Road Warriors, right?
Road Warriors. Somebody else was in
No,
there.
not in War Games. In 91, it did. It was the Horsemen defeated Sting, Pillman, and the Steiners in 91.
By the way, so
That's an interesting team.
I was doing research leading up to this episode because I realized today, actually, we did not talk about War Games. Hold on 1 second. Let me get out of the way. War Games.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
You're welcome.
And we'll never hear it again.
Nope. Ever.
I'll never say that. I'll never say that.
Never. Okay. Anyway, and so I watched a couple of the, like, not the entire matches, but I went through them because I have seen a lot of these matches, and a couple of observations because let's not forget this is an NXT thing now.
Yeah. I have a question when you're done with the explanation. We'll go on.
But something I knew that there was definitely, it used to be a covered cage back in the WCW days. I didn't realize how fucking short it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I've definitely
on the top.
Yeah, like
I've seen
Brian
spots.
was like hanging off the cage to drop kick someone and grab him for a Hurricanrana.
Yeah.
Fucking Sid power bombed him. He lifted him up, hit him with the cage, and then fucking slammed him.
I was gonna say there was the one.
Driver.
It kind of makes perfect sense that Sid's the one that would not fuck up the spot, but like, oh, powerbomb. Whoops. It's not tall enough.
Nope. So and then I watched the complete fucking nonsense that was WCW versus NWO Hollywood versus NWO Wolfpack, in which the match ends with fucking a bunch of smoke coming into the ring and Ultimate Warrior appearing.
Wasn't he
Hogan
around
tried
for like
to beat
3
him
weeks?
down. More smoke, grabs a jacket, and then Warrior runs out from backstage. Fuck knows how, and then he breaks the cage open to go chase after them again. And then out of nowhere, DDP just pins somebody and wins the match.
Oh shit, we
Sounds about
forgot
right.
here. Somebody got to win.
I feel like WCW did that a lot, where it was just like they had so much shit going on while the finish of a match was happening. Like people were they didn't realize like the match was ending. Like you wouldn't miss the finish because like there'd be a pinfall while there'd be like a 30-man brawl going on like right outside the ring. And meanwhile, it's like, oh, the pin's happening in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Everyone's watching the fight outside because Sting just came out or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some crazy shit like that would happen.
It's Sting.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, did you guys what do you guys think of NXT War Games?
I mean,
I like them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember people
good.
bitch. I remember people bitching about no roof on the cage, and they did the little shark cage on the ramp. I think it's cool. I think it's cool when you have everybody out like watching the match. And I also like the no roof on the cage just because it's still the same match. Like you can't escape. And didn't they make it in NXT where it's like if you escaped, like
You lose.
right.
Okay.
So it's like so they covered themselves with it as far as like keeping everything in the ring.
You forfeit the match.
Right.
Plus,
and
they
then
started letting some of the finishes could also be pinfalls at that point, because I believe it used to be you can only win that match by submission once everybody was in the ring.
Well, that's why Blood and Guts is it's like basically an I Quit match. I don't
Right.
think there's any pinfalls in Blood and Guts.
I
You're
can't
correct.
remember.
Yeah, because
You're
Blood and Guts goes by like the original War Game rules,
Yes.
Right.
and they
But-
have the roof on the cage.
Right. They do. Yeah, I prefer it without it. It opens up more stuff. You give guys more ideas of what they can do.
Quick note: it did have the roof on the cage, much taller,
Oh, right.
obviously, but
Right.
that was almost like a like Hell in a Cell tall.
Right. And I feel like I think like the two they've done, I think Sammy Guevara has been in both. So they're just like, okay, go do some shit, I guess.
Go
Yeah.
fall from a very high place.
Right.
Well, actually, it's funny because they had Jericho fall from one, and then they had who fell from the last one? Guevara fell from the
Sammy
last
Guevara.
one. Yep. So like they've had those spots where like somebody else falls off every time.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting looking
And
at
Jericho got injured in both of them that he was in.
It's interesting looking at the NXT ones. There's only been 5 of them, but I very much remember the first one. Undisputed Era,
Yep.
Authors of Pain, and Roderick Strong. This was pre Undisputed Era Roderick.
Remember that?
Yep.
Authors of Pain.
Isn't this the match where he turns and
No.
joins them?
No, he turned in it was the Dusty Classic, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew it was some kind of gimmick thing going on.
It was like Roddy and
Versus
Pete Dunne.
versus Sanity.
Yes, I do.
Alexander
remember that
Wolf,
one.
Eric Young, and Killian Dane. And
That was great.
And did that company waste Eric Young or what?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Eric Young, highly underrated talent.
Agreed.
The second one was Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and War Raiders when they were still Hanson and Rowe versus Undisputed Era. God damn, Undisputed Era is in all except the last one.
Yeah.
Well, but like they were the best thing that era.
It also shows
had,
what
so-
their longevity.
Undisputed Era.
And they could
they're-
go, and if they all went back to WWE tomorrow and did Undisputed Era, they'd still be over. So
Yes.
that like it ended, but it probably could still be going on today.
Yeah. The next one was
It is still
Undisputed
going on. The
Era.
whole Undisputed Elite it's just the same thing.
The next
I feel
one
like,
is
True.
Undisputed Era versus Team Ciampa, which was Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic. I forgot who he replaced, but I remember popping huge for this when it happened. Kevin Owens. He was a surprise 4th guy.
Damn.
Next
Yeah,
one.
because I remember they were just like, "Do you want to show up and fight?" Because the old didn't they like throw down some challenge to him basically, and you were like nobody was sure if he was actually going to show up. Like the gimmick was that nobody was sure he was actually going to show up or not.
Maybe.
I think like that was like the story of the match. Like I obviously everybody knew he was going to show up, but I think like throughout the pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure like the whole gimmick of the commentators was just like, we still don't know if Kevin Owens is showing up tonight. Do you think he's going to be here? Like,
No,
They
they didn't hint at him. He was a total
no,
surprise.
okay, like maybe I'm thinking of something else then. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was a
Like I feel like they
total-
do that a lot. Obviously, that's like a
No,
very
but
pro
the
wrestling
thing-
thing to do.
The thing was the next night was Survivor Series.
Yeah. I know
and
that.
they were on
yeah.
opposite teams.
Yes, that's what it was. Maybe then it was like, how are they going to get along? Yeah, maybe that was
Yeah.
the whole thing they were doing. I don't know, man.
But no, Kevin Owens was a complete surprise up until he showed up. Because it's the first time he showed up in NXT in like years. Since basically he debuted, because he was only in NXT for a few months.
Gotcha.
The 4th one was Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee. That's right, folks. Pat McAfee was in a War Games match.
Pat McAfee is awesome.
Pat McAfee is a treasure that we need to put in bubble wrap at all times. Also,
that
if
man.
anybody, I bet you anything, he'd still be the best punter in the game right now.
Well, you know what? The Jets apparently need one, so
Why not? By the way, his team was Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and only Lorcan.
which
I
I'm
remember
a
he
huge
had that
Danny Burch
stable
and Oney
going on.
Lorcan fan. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And the last one's the only one without Undisputed Era. This was Team Black and Gold, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight versus Team 2.0, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo.
I didn't like that one as well.
One of these things is not like the other.
And that's the thing.
Also-
like I liked all the Undisputed Era ones.
Oh,
Better.
wait a minute. I'm confused about something. There was definitely a women's war.
There's
game.
a women's one too.
Yeah, where the hell is
Same
it?
one. It was the last when they did that. When they did, I think the black and gold one. I think they had a women's one, right?
Yeah.
Same night.
There was something with, I think it was when like Dakota Kai turned heel
Yes.
on what's her name?
Also, I love Dakota Kai. Tegan Knox.
My
Tegan
favorite.
Knox, yeah.
That's
I remember that. I remember
Oh, yeah.
that match.
I'm just trying to remember who was in that match.
sure it was like Io
There was two
Shirai,
of them. There was two of them.
Candice LeRae.
Yep.
Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley was the leader of one team. The other one
yeah.
was Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, Kaylee Ray, or whatever the hell she's called now. And then there was one that was like, hold on, who was this one? Whatever Kaylee Ray's called now. Cora Jade, who another one I really enjoy. Io Shirai and what the hell's her name? Big Hispanic girl.
Reina.
Raquel. No.
Yeah.
Wow. Why am I having a bad time remembering her name?
Are you reading it?
Raquel Gonzalez. Wow.
Okay.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Yes.
I don't like Raquel.
Not my
Gonzalez
cup
at
of
all.
tea.
No,
And
she's
they
not
took
my thing.
on Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't know. War games is fun. I'm glad it's only like once a year. Get
Yeah.
some feuds out of the way. That's all it should be. That's
Right.
all it was in WCW. But a good one. Any last ones before we kind of wrap this up?
Wait a minute. There was one more. God damn it.
There's one
Uh,
shit.
This was okay. That's Shotzi Blackheart, Io Shirai, Ember Moon, and Rhea Ripley versus Candice LeRae, Toni Storm. I'm pretty sure it's Dakota Kai, and I don't know who the hell that last one is.
All right.
Okay, let's finish this up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did a lot of talking.
Got to get all those names out there. War games. I mean, I feel like over the last 2 episodes we covered a lot of shit. I mean, I feel like I'm sure if we missed something, feel free to leave a comment,
Let us
on the YouTube video if we missed something important.
We covered the
don't.
dog poo match.
Which one?
The dog poo match.
We're not going.
We
to.
talked about that last week a little bit, I think.
The British Bulldog thing.
Bull-
Yeah.
Oh, I was either going that or I it wasn't Dog Poo, but the Hog Pen match.
The hog pen match, yeah.
I forgot about that.
With the Godwins, they used to do that a lot. And then Triple H had to do one as punishment for the curtain call.
Yep. Yeah. He said he got either he still has a scar today from it or he got like some kind of cut and then like the shit in there like got in it and got like
Infected,
a little
yeah.
infected.
Of course it
Yeah.
did.
What is
Makes
safety?
sense. Yeah.
God, it was just funny.
good
That
to
wasn't even that was pre-attitude era too. They were doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
That was
That was
Again,
Hunter
if
Hearst
we-
Helmsley in that
96.
match.
Oh, excuse me. It's not Triple H.
Yeah, it wasn't Triple H. That was
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Like there were
From
two.
Greenwich, Connecticut.
I was gonna say there were 2 eras of Hunter Hearst Helmsley. There was like that, the initial one coming down
Blue
and like
The Blue Blood.
yeah, and then just
Abel
like
was one of his managers.
Yep.
Yep.
Good old terrorizing.
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 Who'd that guy ever beat?
That guy never drew a dime.
Diamond it beat me to it.
What makes him good?
Who booked this shit? Yeah, there it is.
There's a dime.
There's the dime
That's
for
all I get.
terrorizing.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, if we missed something, let us know in the comments. Like I said, we're probably going on 3 hours, not tonight, but 3 hours total over the last 2 episodes, just talking
yeah.
about good match. We definitely focused on more bad matches, but then I love focusing on
Those are
bad
the easy
matches,
ones.
right? Because you bring it up, you're like, oh my god, I remember that. I'm gonna
Yep.
go watch it because that's what I feel like
Oh,
I'm gonna
dude.
do now.
When Chris brought up the blindfold match from what was it, WrestleMania 9, right? Like I just had
7.
flashbacks. 7, yeah, from WrestleMania
Drama.
7.
Oh my God,
I
if
literally
I-
had like
if-
traumatic flashbacks.
God, if WrestleMania 9 had a fucking blindfold match, Jesus
Oh, yeah.
Christ, that's
Was
already-
WrestleMania 9 like already like the worst WrestleMania?
It's already
like
terrible.
You should watch it with a blindfold.
The best way.
You know, if Undertaker Giant Gonzalez might be improved if it was a blindfold match, though.
Yeah, maybe it might have been.
Nowhere to go but up on that one.
Right.
Yeah, the ceiling's pretty low.
That's another. This isn't a gimmick match, but just
Like
like
an old War Games ceiling.
what? Oh God.
Oh my God, no.
Because I remember again, like whenever it was the first time I watched WrestleMania 9, I was again probably just some kid, and I remember like seeing like Giant. Yeah, I never seen Giant Gonzalez before. I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, but like they're billing him as like. Do they bill him as 8 feet tall?
I think so.
Something stupid.
or
Yeah.
some
Close to
stupid
it
shit.
anyway.
Something
So
you
I-
couldn't teach.
Right. So I remember.
And you can't teach that. Thank you, Skylar. That was a good one.
But like I remember they're hyping it up like 8 feet.
Steve Perry.
You're just going out with Squeak.
I've been holding on to that this whole episode.
No more Journey psych outs.
Yes, there it is. Thank you for the response. I've been holding that all episode, waiting for the right moment. Boys, I got to tell you, this episode's been more fun than a Real Big Fish concert, but I think it is about that time.
Will they sue me if I close with one of their songs?
Yes.
God damn it. They seem like they're nice.
They're sellouts, remember?
I'll just put Take on Me in here and I'll get sued by 2 bands.
Oh man.
Oh, God damn it, man. That's also part of my Takes Gimmick, playing a different version of Take on Me at the end of every episode. So I can't even steal that. I'm stealing 3 times technically. I'm stealing another podcast gimmick and getting sued by 2 bands.
by the cover and the original writers. That's a lot of lawsuits. We don't need those, man. I don't think our 17 subscribers are gonna like float us on that one.
Nah, probably we'll probably get 0. Hey, go fund me. Nah, I'm good.
Go fund yourself.
God, fucking damn it, man! I don't even know what I was talking about now.
I threw you off with the Steve Perry, the Journey psych out. Journey psych out hit, bro. That was a good psych out.
We're not playing none of that pussy 2-on-2 stuff you guys play in the suburbs.
I think I got a few good ones in tonight.
Go watch that.
Yep.
Basketball
anyway,
so
if
good.
you know, you know. Again, if you know, you know.
It's so fucking good. How like has that? I don't think the South Park guy's done anything bad. Like, is there anything out there? Even
I haven't seen Book of Mormon yet, but I hear it's great. So
even Orgasmo's hilarious.
I haven't actually seen that, but I'm sure
Great theme song. Great theme song.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Anyway.
Also that concert at Red Rocks, fantastic.
Is that streaming anywhere?
Paramount.
Okay, I'll have to look it up because I think I tried to look it up and just either I probably couldn't find it or something.
South Park.
Who was on it though? Like who? Like
to South Park. Spoiler.
Like do they have like everyone relevant like performing at this thing?
Yes. You also have to remember that they're pretty competent musicians. I mean, look at all the stuff they wrote.
Well, like that's true, but like I imagine like Primus was there, and
we'll talk about that off the air.
Yeah. We don't need to bleed that into this.
Anyway, now we're getting sued.
So
if I put this on YouTube,
this is completely gone off the rails here at the end. We talked about gimmick matches for like a solid like 2 hours, and now we've just talked about South Park for the past like 20 minutes.
You know what?
I made some basketball references.
Normally, the beginning is when we talk about the irrelevant stuff and just kind of bullshit. We just decided to do it at the end this time.
It's at the end this time.
Where is the wrestling?
The wrestling's back there.
You just scroll, but you already heard the wrestling.
This feels like
we already got your listen count.
That's true. I guess
this is true. If you listen, if you've made it
this
far,
hung on this long, then
if you've made it this far and you're mad about us,
bro, what are you doing?
I don't know what to tell you.
All right, let's get some plugs out of the way, boys.
Yes, let's do it. Chris, where can we follow you? Where can we follow Northeast Wrestling? And what's coming up?
You can follow me at Ref Chris D on Twitter and Instagram. And Northeast Wrestling's next show is October 15th at the NEW Arena.
All right.
And I don't know where else I'll be yet. I might be elsewhere too in October. I don't know.
We'll We'll find out on the 5th appearance.
Yeah.
5 times. Nope. Save it.
Save
Don't
it.
do-
Save it.
Don't you dare.
You drink.
I hold it down.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I definitely have the 15th. That's our next show for Northeast Wrestling. I'm sure we'll have some stuff in November too. I think there's some bigger plans maybe for the following month as well if things work out.
So I'm just gonna
December.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I'm hoping that Civic Center show has got something rescheduled coming.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask about that.
he wants that rescheduled, preferably within this year. Before.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. I held on to
Cool,
my
'cause I'm-
tickets. I held on to my
trying
tickets.
to move to Vegas soon, so
Yeah.
they need to, get on it
Yeah,
because I got to
yeah.
be there.
Right.
Tell like
I'm
next time
just-
you're talking to
have
Mike,
it.
just
Yeah.
do me a favor. Just tell Mike, listen, CJ says
Yeah.
you need to get on your shit because he's moving and he's got to see you guys before, So
Yeah.
What? Who the hell, CJ?
Yeah.
exactly, like just
Right.
like no context at all. Just text them and be
Right.
like, hey, CJ says get your shit together.
Right. Like, I'm just gonna say I held on to my tickets. I didn't get the refund. I said we're gonna go to this rescheduled show. So we're patiently waiting. But again, we'll check.
Yeah,
for
he's just working some stuff out with the building, see when we could get back in there. It's definitely planned though, sooner.
All right,
than later,
nice.
so.
Awesome, good news.
Good news.
Good to know.
Good to know.
But yeah, so follow us also at Six Man Tag on Twitter, at Six Man Tag Podcast on Instagram. If Facebook's your thing, we're gonna try and get that going. Six Man Tag Podcast on Facebook, but
I'll get to it.
yeah, I'm not running that shit. Fuck Facebook.
I love how I accidentally stumbled onto having to be in
Yep.
charge of that.
It's your
Yep.
fault.
Yep.
Oh, you know
Um,
what? Hold on. I bet you I know the answer to that, by the way, Skylar. Because I think like before that, I was the one who primarily ran it and I deactivated my Facebook. So when I deactivated my Facebook, maybe it like defaulted to you to
true.
being like the prime admin now.
I'll say that whenever
I
I
don't doubt
made the page at some point, I probably just gave both of you access to do whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would explain that. But yeah, I'm fuck Facebook. But you follow us there if that's your thing. But fuck Facebook.
You can see
Join-
Hank Hill doing commentary.
Oh yeah, because I haven't updated those.
Yeah,
pictures.
I gotta update that.
Yeah, because
We have logos now.
we have a real logo. We had a real logo back in the day. That
We
was
even have an
nicely done
8-bit
back in the
version.
day, but this logo is, no offense to anyone from back in the day, but this logo way better.
Right.
Yeah. So, again, we have our link tree in our bios on Twitter and on Instagram. That's where you can find all our podcast links. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Spotify. Find us on YouTube. Six Man Tag Podcast on YouTube. We're putting a lot more stuff out there. We put out a video of us kind of just giving our thoughts on the whole CM Punk Elite, all out media scrum and the aftermath stuff. The video did well for our standards, at least, in the grand scheme of YouTube. But so check out, subscribe to the YouTube, because we're going to start putting a little more exclusive stuff on there. I'm saying exclusive content. That does not mean OnlyFans. It means YouTube.
Yeah.
You sickos.
Yeah.
I'm still pitching.
Me too.
Listen, feet
Well,
pics.
I thought you were catching. Hey,
Listen, no, put your fucking foot down. We can't give it away for free.
That's what we
that's
call
true.
a teaser.
Facts.
It did kind of get lost in the blurry background.
Exactly. I planned that.
Oh, okay. No, you didn't. Or did he? But seriously, listen, foot pics. There's a market. I'm in. Somebody wants to pay for these fucking thing. Be my guest.
Well,
Anywho,
I'm half
anyway.
kidding. I'm half kidding.
Anyway,
Anywho,
I don't think anyone wants to look at my feet, but hopefully you want to listen to some of my music. And if you want to do that, you can do so at the Paperweight Project. Wow. Do you like that little segue? Ha.
that was nice.
We have YouTube, we have SoundCloud, Instagram, and a Facebook. But again, I kind of deactivated my Facebook, so it's going to be hard to run that. But I still do have the other platforms going. So check us out. SoundCloud and YouTube especially. Check us out. SoundCloud is where you can just listen to the songs. YouTube obviously will have videos accompanying the song. Some of them, like right now, I have 2 up right now. One's just got like a background, but I do have one actual full music video called Bottles by the Bedside on my YouTube channel at the Paperweight Project. You can go check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. There will be more coming very soon. I just finished working on a final mix of my latest cover song that I'm going to release soon today. So yeah, looking forward to releasing that soon, and as well as hopefully some whole collection of stuff soon. So like I said, like, subscribe, get on the bandwagon now, because once the music starts coming, it's going to be coming in bunches. That's how you sell.
And also join our Discord again. Click the link tree in our Twitter and Instagram in the bios, and
Ask us some questions.
join the Discord. Join the conversation. It's good stuff. We had someone in there.
Give us topics.
Thought someone was in their DMs, but haven't found out the mystery of that. But you can find stuff like that on the Discord. So join it. Find out. Read the conversation. Ask us questions. We're here to answer. But yeah, the invite link is in the link tree as well as everything else. We have some other big stuff. I'm not ready to announce that yet, but we got some other stuff cooking for this podcast that I'm pretty excited about once everything gets going with that. But we'll announce it when the time. You'll know what's going on when the time comes. But again, stay tuned for more announcements, more content from us. I don't know. Anyone else got anything else I need to plug? Skylar, your Twitch.
Strange AFC, STRANGEAFC.
What are you playing now? Are you still on Last of Us, or you moved on?
I haven't played Last of Us recently. I'll get back to that soon. A lot of Soul Hackers too. A little bit of Inscription.
Still on Roller Dome every week.
I need to get back to Roller Dome.
Fuck. Why'd you have to bring up Roller Dome again?
Probably gonna go back to Cyberpunk soon, since they did the Edge Runner patch and put out the anime, which fucking kicks ass. And I have NBA 2K23 on pickup tomorrow.
NBA, wow, really?
I have a group of friends that really want to play it, because the other
don't get me wrong.
The other group of friends that plays Borderlands hasn't said anything yet.
I'm getting to it. Don't get me wrong. I've bought NBA 2K. I feel like once every 5 years, I'm I feel like playing a basketball game, and I just buy whatever NBA 2K game is out that year, and then for the next 5 years, I just don't give a shit about basketball.
Right.
I had 22. I didn't play too much of it, but I figured this time I'm getting up on the ground floor.
I'm about due for a new basketball game, so maybe I'll get it and I'll play with you, Skylar.
Yeah, why the hell not? Some of my friends are hardcore into it, so I was like, yeah, what the fuck? I'll join.
I feel like I'm almost getting suckered into getting to the new Madden again, even though every year
just
I say
not gonna do it.
It's being given to me.
Every year I say I'm not gonna do it, and then now I feel like I want it.
It's being given to me, so I'm not gonna even.
I have last year's. I could just play last year's and remind myself why I hate it.
Wait, let me ask you this: you still have only PS4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then don't get Madden, because literally any updates were only on next gen.
Okay.
So I've heard a lot of any
PS4 version,
any new renderings, any new updates. A lot of that stuff is only on next gen. So if you buy the PS4 version, I think you're basically truly getting a roster updated Madden 22.
Okay.
I mean,
fair enough.
I still have a trial with EA Play, so that's what I'm using.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. These shitty video games. If you also want to hear more
I'm playing.
If you want to hear more about wrestling video games, go back a couple episodes. We had American Sumo, Mike Gamble on for that. That guy knew his shit. He was awesome. We had a great conversation about wrestling video games.
Yeah, buddy.
Again, look out for more stuff from that we might
go back and check out our short that we did last week.
Go check out.
We said we actually posted a little later than we planned to, but thoughts about the fallout of All Out.
Yep.
And then also we got the whole Fight Forever thing too. We talked about not just video games, but talking about Fight Forever and all the other stuff coming out. So just some relevant topics, just in case you're interested.
We may expand upon video games in the future, just because that podcast did pretty decent on YouTube. So
I think we have some pretty good MJF takes on that short about CM Punk too. So if you want to hear about certain things about MJF and the future of AEW too, I think we did a good job of diving into that too.
You got to subscribe to the YouTube to get it.
That's what I'm trying to say, baby. That's what I'm trying to say. Get all the best stuff.
That's why it's here. If you're watching our faces, you're already at the YouTube. Hit that subscribe, hit the like button, follow whatever the fuck you do on YouTube. Hit the bell, put the notifications on so you know when we upload. that'll do it for tonight, though. But again, a lot of good shit coming. You know, follow our links, whatever. We already fucking plugged. I'm not doing it again. Thanks to Chris for being
4-time. Like the 4 horsemen. We got the 4 horsemen post this week.
And we'll have you back soon. But thanks to Chris for talking about gimmicks again. And we're done. We're done with gimmicks for now. Next week's not going to be no part 3. Got a new topic coming for you next week.
No.
What?
At best, a YouTube bonus clip.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I think we're done with gimmicks, honestly.
I don't know what else to cover.
I was just being a smart ass.
Hey, normally we would have just crammed this all into one episode. We got 2 out of it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
We're learning.
But yeah, we'll move on to something else next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about something else. That's
Act like we're
going
gonna
on,
act like
or-
we're gonna decide before fucking next Thursday, an hour before.
No, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's how this started. What are we talking about? Gimmick match. All right.
WrestleMania 7
hit record.
blindfold match.
Yeah, let's talk about just a whole 2 hours about that blindfold match.
God damn it.
That's how you pick the topics.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's how we do it. But
Let's do a
listen.
watch along.
Oh no. Jesus.
People sitting in a chair traumatized.
Jesus.
We'll do a watch
Somebody-
along of WrestleMania 7 blindfold match, followed by all of WrestleMania 9.
Somebody hit somebody.
And then followed that by WrestleMania 27.
There you
We're live, pal.
go. It's all good stuff.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. For Chris, for Skylar, for CJ, I'm Mike. Thanks again, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Peace.